As part of the six-day 40th Triennial Congress for the General Society of Mayflower Descendants, the group gathered at the Mayflower Society House recently for the Pilgrim Progress. The event was a memorial procession which led members from the Society House to Coles Hill, to the Church of the Pilgrimage, and back to their starting point for refreshments. Of course, the members were encouraged to wear Pilgrim-style clothing. PCN's own Sullivan was there to get the story.
On Sunday, September 8th, the General Society of Mayflower Descendants gathered at the Mayflower Society House to take part in the Pilgrim Progress, a memorial procession which wouldn't be complete without the proper attire. The Society House was kind enough to provide nearly everyone there with 17th century Pilgrim garb. They even had clothes for the little ones. Folks had to be quick to get the costume that best suited their character.
Well, I've been a member of the General Society of Mayflower Descendants for several years. My middle name is Standish. I'm dressed, I'm descended from Miles Standish. I have the privilege of wearing a costume that resembles what he might have worn 400 years ago.
Sunday's gathering landed right in the middle of the six-day 40th Triennial Congress for the Descendants. The society is comprised of people from all 50 states as well as Canada. No state was too far for this get-together.
I came from California today to honor my Pilgrim ancestors, Richard Moore, Richard Warren, and James Chilton. And it's very exciting to be here and march in Pilgrim's Progress.
We're from Nashville, Tennessee, actually the town of Franklin, and we came out for the Descendants of the Mayflower celebration. They're 400 years strong now. And we're just having a really good time seeing all of the history in this area, you know, and we're learning a lot at the same time.
From here, the procession moves just up the road to Coles Hill, where many of the pilgrims were buried during their first winter here. In fact, they'll read off a list of the names of those who left no descendants, as well as those who did have a legacy.
The pilgrim remains buried under this monument were uncovered on May 23rd, 1855.
Several of the pilgrims whose names appear in this monument left no one behind. Of course, there were many more whose names did carry on, and most of the people in attendance could trace their lineage to those very names. Two of the descendants were appointed to read off the names for both groups as part of the commemorative ceremony.
William Holbeck,
Solomon Farr, John Rigsdale, and Alice, his wife.
The procession marched onwards to the Church of the Pilgrimage for prayer and their final ceremony. After a day of marching in the heat wearing those heavy clothes, it was time for the descendants to descend upon the buffet table back at the Society House. There were more people in attendance than had been anticipated, which is a good sign for the Society because their numbers appear to be growing. For Ben Proctor, traveling to Plymouth for the event was a homecoming of sorts.
I came in from Maryland, came in 2 days ago. I live in the Baltimore area and made it up in about 9 hours. So everything went well. It was a beautiful drive, and my family and I, we vacation here in Plymouth every year for 3 weeks, and just being here in Plymouth, I love very much. My father was born and raised here, and it's like my second home.
For Annie John, the short plane ride from D.C. served a worthwhile purpose.
I'm really excited about it because I'm going to be the governor of the D.C. Society starting at the end of the year, and I won't have a Congress during my term, so I felt like it was important that I come to this one specifically. And I think it was an hour and a half on the plane up from D.C.
Reporting from the Mayflower Society House here in downtown Plymouth, I'm Sullivan, PACTV Community News.